I think things are probably going to come to a head between the perceptions that the John A. Macdonald Chief and Councils have versus the real truth, the reality. And there is things that people can do really, because the Chief and Council, Indian Act Chief and Council, don't have the authority, nor do they have the authority to do anything on rights or lands, because they are an agency of the Minister of Indian Affairs, which is essentially, in most cases, our enemy. Not in a sense of war or anything, but who we always seem to be going to court against. And probably the important thing here is that that all the people together are the only way you can make any law for your nation, because that is the only representative you have for everyone in your nation. And the Chief and Council don't hold that. So they've got to learn this. And this is something that a lot of them haven't learned yet. And I know the government is really trying to manipulate them as much as they can, and taking advantage of their stupidity. And that's what I can't say it any nicer than that. They're damn stupid. And okay, but they can't do anything, and they can't overturn your treaty no matter what they do.
Right on.
So, Chief Riley, what do you think should happen in a context where these band councils are signing these modern treaties and giving up their, the people's rights, like they're actively doing it? How do we fight back against that?
Well, your biggest weapon is your treaty, and you've got to stand up. That's really what you've got to do. They have no authority, and if anything does come to court, challenge it in court, and you'll be able to get the answer into the evidence there, and of course the judge is going to have to consider it.
And could you talk, Chief Riley, about the Rowan Proclamation, what it is and how it is of relevance? Because this is a community listed, Sagamok is listed in the Rowan Proclamation. Yeah.
Okay. The Rowan Proclamation, in my mind, is it's becoming more and more important. The more I look at it and the more I analyze it, it was done, and let me put things in a little better context than just reading the document. At that time, the government was having a big problem with the First Nations. Of course, a lot of them didn't have any reserves yet, and they were forced to introduce some laws called the Indian Protection Act, which essentially was not like an Indian Act today. It was merely put in place to protect the Indians from the white settlers and from them taking their land or their clearings or whatever. So this is the right context to look at the Rowan Proclamation. But he included some sections in the proclamation, but in fact, the whole goddamn I don't know what, there's 17, 18 sections of that continue to apply, because it was a recognition in that Rowan Proclamation of various aspects of your Aboriginal rights. And there's other things that affect your Aboriginal rights. All of the rights that would be in the East Coast treaties, these are Aboriginal rights, and they apply to all of us all over Turtle Island. So it wasn't as if it was any different from one First Nation to the other. We essentially did everything the same way anyway. So these are rights that we need to display more clearly, because we haven't done it in the past, and we need to do it in court as well. And but these things, like for instance, recognized that Indians were tax-free in all of Upper Canada. So that would apply in the East Coast too, or in the West, wherever the Royal Proclamation was presumed to be in effect. So that's I think that's a much better understanding of where we were at that particular day, and of course then along came the BNA Act. Oh, I've got nothing nice to say about that. That was just a total racist regime setup. They never asked us. And here's one thing interesting. Even though the BNA Act was set up, and I say it's extremely faulty because it never had our endorsement, is that all of those rights before anything about the BNA Act came into being are yours. And so anything pre-Confederation has got a tremendous amount of power. But we all have to sit down yet and work out exactly what all of these Aboriginal treaty rights are. And one more very important thing, Section 25 has to go with Section 35 every time you get in court. And this is the reason, and I've just told the people in the East, the real reason for Section 25 was so that no legal opinion from any place in the world, from any judges, would ever affect what we already had in our Aboriginal rights. And that meant that, well, who does define them? Well, the only ones that can legally define them is ourselves. So, and that's something we really haven't sat down and done or completed yet, and we need to do that. But that's the interpretation of Section 25. It just means that no white man or his opinions can affect our rights. Our rights are there. It's like the air. It's always going to be there. Without their foolish opinions, which primarily just benefit themselves. Here's something important you could take notice of, is that when we put those, there are actually 4 sections that went in, and one of them is that your funding would not be affected. Funding to First Nations would not be affected with any kind of change or happening. So that's guaranteed anyway. So even though we don't know what's going to happen in the future in terms of how do you resolve this this two-pronged administration. We've got to, and then the other thing is when Section 35 was put in, it was put in for the people that signed the treaties, not this present-day chiefs and councils. It's for the original traditional people. That's who has the power to make laws for your nation, not the chief and council. So they haven't. None of this stuff has been made clear to our people, nor has the truth been told to them about the negative sides to the Indian Act. And then that's all I'm doing. I'm just telling people what the real truth is. And I've yet to have one person from the other side come and debate me on anything I say. Not one single person yet. And I'd love to have a debate with their brightest legal mind on anything dealing with the Indian Act.
Chief Riley, can you tell us a little bit about your autobiography, your book that's coming out in the next week or two?
I would recommend everyone read it, because it will be a reference book for a long time for you, and it will help you understand Aboriginal and treaty rights much better than what you know now. And it also well, of course, it's a biography, and there's not many out there about First Nations people. So I thought I would actually do one, and hopefully it can be an inspiration. But I've dedicated it to all of the survivors, I being one of them myself.
But I'm interested in hearing more about the Rowan Proclamation.
For sure.
That'll be an eye opener for a lot of people.
Yeah, it's extremely extremely valuable because it's on par with the Royal Proclamation. So they did it this way because they wanted it to have a lot of force and effect, and it does, and it's even though they don't have anything about it on their book, it applies. Those Aboriginal rights in there that it describes are still applicable today to those all of those pre-Confederation treaties.
Yeah, I think Sagamuk was under Section 5 of the Rowan Proclamation, and both chiefs that signed the Robinson-Huron Treaty, their name is also on the Rowan Proclamation under Section 5. Those two chiefs.
Okay, yeah, I think what's got to happen is the chiefs and councils. Well, actually, our own people has to learn all of this stuff and learn the real truth of where they're really at. I mean, I'm doing my best to explain it to different parts of the country, but it's a big tough job, and where I do go and speak, the people all support me. Well, maybe not 100%, but I'd say 98 to 99%. They support exactly what I'm saying and agree with me. And hey, I probably have a big right to say that because, hey, I've been doing this for 50 years. So, and I've settled a hell of a lot of land claims, and so I know rights inside out. And I can analyze that Indian Act like like no lawyer can. Well, you need to get the information out. That's the most helpful thing. Like even you take a video and spread it around using whatever media device you can. That's what helps. And right now I probably got the people following me. I don't have too many chiefs and councils because they're all scared of me.
Yeah.